The Governor Nyesom Wike faction of the People's Democratic Party has pulled out of the campaign council of the party's presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar. The Wike team insisted that they would not be part of the campaign activities pending the resignation of the party's national chairman, Iyorchia Ayu. They made this resolution earlier today after a meeting held at Governor Wike's private residence in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Participants at the meeting included sitting governors, founding members of the party, former ministers, and other leaders of the party. The resolution was read by Olabode George, a former deputy national chairman of the party. Chief George said they were deeply concerned about the division in the party, despite its age-long internal mechanism designed to guarantee inclusiveness.
The published Presidential Campaign Council list translates to putting the cart before the horse. The pertinent issue before the party remains the resolution of the Ayu leadership debacle, which is a departure from the spirit and letter of our Constitution, which undermines the unity of our great party. It was therefore resolved that Senator Iyorchia Ayu resigns as the national chairman of the party for an acting chairman of Southern Nigeria extraction to emerge and lead the party on the national campaign. Consequently, we resolve not to participate in the campaign council in whatever capacity until the resignation of Dr. Iyorchia Ayu.
They're not different from the things that I mentioned at the Southwest Consultative meeting, and that is exactly where we are. We hope that the powers that be will listen to the voice of reason and do the needful.
The PDP ruled Nigeria before for 16 years of excellence. We are desirous that such kind of excellent governance comes back to this country. But that cannot be achieved unless we have a proper structure of the party as designed by the founding fathers. If we want to restructure Nigeria, we should have the courage to restructure our party.
We formed this party on the principle of justice, fair play, and equity. It is true that everything is being done for us to have internal democracy in the party. But for the national chairman, Senator Iyorchia Ayu, to go and embrace Tambuwal, calling him the hero of the convention, which means there was a private arrangement that was done with Tambuwal to shortchange other contestants, including Governor Wike. And here was a referee who now helped one of the sides to score a goal and then blew the whistle that a goal has been scored. This is not what we formed the PDP to do for Nigerians. And therefore, we unequivocally ask that Ayu has to step down.
Work for the party to the extent that fairness, equity, and justice is ensured in the party.
But reacting to the withdrawal of Wike and his loyalists from the PDP Presidential Campaign Council, Atiku urged the aggrieved party chieftains to have a rethink and retrace their steps. Atiku said, and I quote, "Personally, I am quite surprised with his withdrawal because, as I have been informed by officials of our party, apart from the Rivers State chapter of the PDP, all the remaining states of the Federation submitted names of people who they wanted included in the Presidential Campaign Council. And the decision for Dr. Iyorchia Ayu to resign from office is personal to Dr. Ayu, and neither I nor anyone else can make that decision for him. And as to the calls for the removal of Dr. Ayu from office, however, I will state that as a committed Democrat and firm believer in the rule of law and democratic tenets, and our party being once set up, organized and regulated by law and our constitution, it is my absolute belief that everything that we do in our party must be done in accordance with and conformity to the law and our constitution. And if Dr. Ayu is to be removed from office, it must be done in accordance with the laws that set out the basis for such removal. End quote.
So what's really happening within Nigeria's main opposition party? Can the center no longer hold as things seem to fall apart? Well, let's pick the brains of an insider, Kola Ologbodiyan, a former spokesman of the PDP. He joins us now. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Kola, really, what is happening? I would just start off, of course, with that quote from Atiku. Now, he has said that Ayu's removal must follow the party's constitution. My question is, what legitimacy does Atiku have to quote the constitution, the same constitution that was not honored, same constitution that did stipulate that the presidency, of course, their candidate must come from the south, and then has brought him in? What right has he got to go back to that? Why do we have to stick to the constitution now, for peace to reign by taking out Ayu?
Thank you very much, Onyi, and thank you, Ngozi. Well, I will start by saying that the intro to this story, as taken by you, allege a factionalization, and that's not correct. Okay. The PDP is not in factions. Even from what we listen to from Chief Olabode George, through to the former governor of Gombe State, His Excellency Dakwambo, there's nowhere where factionalization was mentioned. And I think what they are demanding for is inclusion. And for the party that is over 20 years old, the one that has the longest span of existence in Nigeria, in the political history of our country, I don't think there's any issue that cannot be resolved. Then you talk about legitimacy of Atiku. Atiku has a strong ground of legitimacy to stand upon. There is no section of the constitution of the PDP that says that power moves from the south to the north or from the north to the south. No. What the constitution canvas is equity, fairness, and to, advance itself to zoning. That's what the party says. There's no way, that's what the constitution says. There's no way where it says that it's go from the north to the south. No, it's not there. But having said that, my appeal is to all members of the PDP, to, in the common interest of Nigerians out there who have suffered the yoke, the burden of the All Progressives Congress in the last 7 going to 8 years, to allow for a peaceful reconciliation of whatever the issues are.
But there are concerns about how much damage this Wike pullout from the PDP, well, not PDP, the Presidential Campaign Council. Let's get it right. He's not pulling out of the PDP, of course, alongside his team. And it's very curious when you hear Jonah Jang say, look, that's former Plateau State Governor, that Ayu has been a bad referee since the primaries, that he's, sided one group against the other. That in itself removes any kind of legitimacy for Ayu to remain as chairman. How much damage, really,
I align myself.
Do you think this will do to the PDP?
Because I align myself completely with the position of the presidential candidate, wherein he stated that the decision to vacate office lies with the chairman. If you have followed the trajectory of the issues, you will notice clearly that the position of everybody who has spoken is that Ayu did say that if the candidate emerged from the north and the party says he should vacate office, that he will vacate office. Clearly.
So why is the party not saying?
And the party went to NEC meeting. Right. And at NEC meeting, unanimously passed a vote of confidence on the leadership of the party. So if there are other concerns emanating from the meeting, I think the best thing to do is to return back into the party and raise these issues and allow us as members, stakeholders, leaders to look into the process and what can be resolved should be resolved. For in the interest of Nigerians who have suffered under this APC, and for the contributions that even Governor Wike and all those who are making these agitations have gone through in time past, we owe it to Nigerians to come together and in the interest of our nation, which is the position that has been canvassed by the presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar Waziri Adamawa, that we should come together.
You see, I like the fact that you keep mentioning Nigerians, because the whole drama, or not, it's all about them. I mean, they're the ones to cast their votes come 2023. But my question now is, what does this really portend for the party? All sorts are going on, you know, behind the scenes. But then let's look at the bigger picture. The elections in 2023. With this kind of internal ramblings going on, we're not sure how soon this will be resolved. Where does the party stand?
As you know, the PDP is a family. And in every family, there are issues. How these issues are resolved determine the harmony or otherwise of it in every family. So what's important, and which is a point that I've been emphatic about, that I'm appealing to every interest in the party to allow us come together as a family in the common interest of Nigerians who have reason to buy a bag of rice for 40,000 naira. Who now has reason to buy Semo 12 kg for 5k, for 5,000 naira. And who will now buy a bottle of roasted groundnut, which they used to smoke garri, at a huge cost of either 1,000 or 1,100 from 450 naira. I think this should be our concern, and this has been our concern in the People's Democratic Party.
Nigerians.
So the bigger picture, like you said, is how do we rescue Nigerians from this yoke, from this burden? I think that's the concern.
Yeah, but the question is, how do you rescue the PDP? I mean, what people like Jerry Ghana are saying, Bode George and the rest of them is, look, charity begins at home. Fix the party first, restructure the party, especially, I mean, Atiku's been talking about restructuring Nigeria. If you cannot restructure the party, what are the guarantees that
the restructuring of the party is a continuous process, Ngozi. And like you said, even restructuring of Nigeria is also continuous. So as far as the party is concerned, and because several Nigerians accosted me on their way, and they say, what are you people doing? You have this golden chance, you have this golden opportunity of saving this situation. Why are you going to allow internal squabbles to stop you from this golden opportunity, this golden chance?
Is it a pointer to the fact that maybe the PDP has lost the art of, you know, that internal mechanism that it always had?
No,
to paper things and make sure that things don't fall apart.
No, we're even talking from that angle. I mean, just, you know, pointing to what you've just said, the fact that the last elections, you know, they presented a united front.
Right.
And this time we're seeing, since you said they're not factions, we're seeing divisions. What are your chances this time?
No, our chances remain, I think since 2015 till date, 2023 presents our brightest chance.
Right.
And I believe it, and I strongly do so, that even all this will be put behind us.
How exactly how? If you were in a position to, you know, get all parties to be at the table and say, look, for altruistic reasons, for Nigeria, and not exactly for party and not for self, what will be the way forward?
No, as we are speaking, as you and I are discussing here, there are Nigerians, members, leaders of the party who are speaking at who are speaking to both ends. Well, I don't think that there are two ends anyway in the party, but whichever way you have presented it, there are people, principal members of the party, who are saying that, no, we can't afford this. Let us settle these issues. And I believe that at the end of it all, matters will be resolved.
All right, Kola Ologbodiyan, former spokesman of the People's Democratic Party.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we do hope, we wish for the very best for the people.